Hi, I'm going to do a second take on this video because the first one I done a lot of like choppy stopping and starting. So I'm just going to do this really quickly. And this video is called Time to Prepare for a Storm. I've got a ringing in my ears. Okay, for those that have not taken the you know what, and I'm referring to this, I'm only going to do this direction once so you know from the start what I'm referring to. We're at a time that even though we're in a place where we still have the option to say no, there is a lot of outside influences which is in your job, which, you know, your workplace may say to you, if you don't do it, we can't work with us, and you start fretting about your employment, how you're going to support your house, your kids, so forth. We see that in that kind of enforcement from that angle. Also, if you get sick, you go to the hospital, they won't treat you because they say, oh, we can't treat you because we can only treat you if you had this done, so forth. And I'm building it up here, so bear with me, people. I'm rushing, so the sun's going down and I had to do this again. So, okay, so refusal into public places, which is something that's happening now. And also youngsters that haven't had it done, or they're encouraging to get it done. They're trying to bribe the youngsters to come and get this thing done through kebabs, through what is the other thing, donuts, any form of cheap crappy incentive that they think that's going to make children or young adults rush out and get this thing. And also as well, you know, so this is another thing. In certain countries, they are already got foot soldiers, like enforcement officers, that will approach people and say to them if they're out drinking at a bar or coffee shop and say, you know, do you have this done? And if they say yeah, they say, can we see your papers, please? So there's a lot of outside push, even if the powers that be says, oh, we're not going to force anyone. They've gone around it through the back door, basically, as you will obviously see. Why am I mentioning this and say time to prepare for a storm? It's because that narrative of, oh, you don't have to get it done, it's your choice, will come to a halt. And it will be introduced with punishment. Punishment that we would need for everybody to prepare themselves for the storm. What is the storm, you ask? The storm is any form of discomfort that takes away from your normal daily life and routine. Here it goes, okay, guys? Okay, so the first thing is, so I have to look down because I had to make a list. The first thing is, they're going to start giving children, or there's laws that will give children as young as 4, to, if they ask, the teacher asks them if they want to get it done, they will say, yeah, they can have it done. You as the parent will not have the authority over your child getting this thing administered, which is quite disgusting because not every 4-year-old develops at the same time. They know that, we know that as parents, and just generally if you're an adult that has any sense, you will know that as well. Number 2, what is it? They will power cuts. There is going to be power cuts that can last for days, and it probably will take place in winter because they want us to really suffer. If you can try and invest in a generator, please go out and get yourself a generator. That will help combat any form of power cut, especially if you've got children or your family, and you can still boil a bit of water, cook something, you know, there's an alternative to try and help you to overcome that. So these are the preparations. Also, banks will be shut, and there's nothing worse if you've got no money, thinking that everything's fine. You rush off to the bank and realize that your bank has crashed. Not just your bank, but every banking system has crashed, so you cannot access money at the cash point or even transfer or whatever. That's how deep it's going to get. Now, even I would say don't even bother calling up, because so if you do this, then at least you know you've covered yourself and allow things to sort of, that wave to pass. Let's move on, okay? So we've got banks, we've got food. Now we know that there's the food shortage that is slowly dwindling down. I've mentioned this in a previous video. If you have not watched it, please check it out. There's some great tips on what food to buy if you're wondering what to get and stock up for yourself. The other thing I didn't mention in that food shortage video is about getting some supplements, because if you're not on taking your daily intake, and your children as well, of vegetables and fruit, supplements will be another form of way to sort of guide you through that wave and that storm. So if you can get some supplements, maybe 3 months supply or as much as you can, or a cheap version, so you've got a 90-day capsule, get as much as you can so you know that you get the drift. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so I said keep your money in the house, and then also there's going to be other man-made disasters, whether it's here, whether it's in another country, and that is obviously, we've been seeing floods, we've been seeing fires, we've been seeing massive destructions. These things are done to make sure that they can come in and say, right, well, we can help you. This is particularly if you're in another third world or developing country, that they will say, we can come in and help you from the West, but you have to get you know what done first. Everything is designed to push and pull like water into, you know, a certain direction, so therefore they can sort of get the outcome that they want. Well, you know, we're seeing what we're seeing. There is no love for humanity, and there is no, the people that are in power, unfortunately, they don't serve the Most High God, Yeshua, God. So they don't serve the Most High God, Yeshua. They don't serve the Most High God of Israel, the Lord. So therefore, this is why they will treat us the way that they treat us. And if you've seen the Hunger Games, it's just a case of someone in power just basically just toying with you and your life. And that is what this reminds me of. It's survival of the fittest. If you survive, you survive. If you don't survive, unfortunately, that is how it's going to go. All saints and anybody that is in the faith, no matter what religion you are, please pray for the people that are already in developing countries and are already suffering, and life is hard, and they rely on us from the West to support food and packages and all the other things and pieces, because when we're going through all of that food shortage, that we might be starving, but they will be dying. So it's very important to keep them in our prayers at this time and going forward, because I'm sure they're feeling it already, because we're seeing it. They must be feeling it 10 times fold. Yeah, let me just check to make sure I have not missed anything. I'm very sorry, guys, to looking down, but I just want to make sure that everything I put here is preparing you going forward. I just remembered one. This time at the moment is a very short, small window. I'm going to stress that again. This time is a very short, small window that if you have not got up-to-date passport, driving license, birth certificate, or any form of document from your government, go grab it now. Sort it out now, because in that time, when everything switches and changes, you will not be able to get that as easily as you would like. Now, this message is only for the people that have not done the you know what. If you plan to, or whatever, or the struggle becomes too hard for you and you plan to, then obviously this is not really the fight for you. So, you know, I'm not really talking to you, to be honest. I'm only talking to those people that have chosen for themselves, because of the religion they serve, that they do not want to destroy the Lord's DNA and ultimately the connection to the spiritual realm. This is just the fight for yourself, that to prepare yourself, that when they push and pull these things, messengers, prophetesses will tell you and give you so much warning from the divine, from the Holy Spirit. Take heed and follow those to combat everything the enemy on the other side is trying to do. And that's the good thing about being in the word and being in the word of Lord, because, you know, and asking him to cover your heart with the blood of the Lamb. Read your Psalms, go deep into prayer. in this time, in this dispensation, because the truth is, he is the only one that can protect us now, through signs, through wonders, through protection, by hiding us. Everything the Lord will do for us is not impossible to protect us and save us from all what these people have planned for us, as our existence as here on earth while we dwell here. I just want to make sure that I have read everything. Also, I hope if I didn't mention it, I want to just say this. Children that have gone back to school from this week, next week, there will come a time that they will pass a law that will allow the children from the age of 4 to take this thing. If I've said this before, I'm just saying it again because it's very important that you understand that your child may come home with a bandage and say, oh, I've had it done. And you think, oh no, I didn't give you any permission. Have your plan B, that if you need to remove your child, you can remove your child and homeschool them and so forth. For those that are not in a position, because some people work and it's not easy, yada, yada, yada. You know, obviously you pray to God about what it is you can do as an alternative. However, that time will come, even if we're in a bit more of a relaxed stage now. Anyway, I'm going to go because, like I said, my sun is going down. Well, it's gone down, to be honest with you. And it's just getting a little bit like trying to see. Anyway, forget it. I'm trying. Anyway, I am the Sparkle Queen. Until next time, hope this helps. Peace.